They didn't ban metal pipes to protect your health. They banned them because the metal was starting to expose something they couldn't hide anymore: the poison running through your tap. For decades, they told us the transition from metal to copper to plastic was all about modernization, efficiency, and safety. But what if every upgrade wasn't an improvement? It was a cover-up. Because hidden inside those pipes was the truth about what's really flowing into your home. And that truth is spelled out in one word they've trained you not to question: fluoride. Back in the mid-1900s, city after city began switching from iron and lead pipes to copper. The reason they gave was corrosion. Metal pipes, they said, were unsafe and outdated. But here's what they didn't tell you: those pipes were exposing the chemical cocktail in the public water supply. The metal reacted with what they were dumping in, especially fluoride, and it started to show. People noticed changes in color, taste, and even buildup on fixtures. The more fluoride-heavy the water, the faster those pipes corroded. The system was literally rotting from the inside. And instead of asking why their so-called safe additive was eating through infrastructure, the solution was to switch the pipes, not the poison. By the late 1970s, the copper industry exploded. It was marketed as a miracle metal: strong, clean, and resistant to contamination. What they left out was that copper doesn't resist fluoride. It absorbs it. The ions interact in ways that make fluoride far more stable in the water. Translation: once the fluoride gets in, it stays in. You can't boil it out. You can't filter it out with the cheap plastic filters they sell you at the store. It's in there, locked in. Fluoride was originally sold as a dental miracle. It prevents cavities, they said. But that narrative started to crack as studies linked chronic exposure to bone damage, thyroid problems, and neurological effects. The science was mounting, but instead of backing off, water authorities doubled down. And when public concern began to grow in the 1980s and 1990s, something strange happened. Cities started replacing copper pipes with plastic. They said it was cheaper, easier to install, environmentally friendly. But plastic pipes, especially PVC and PEX, don't corrode. They don't show the chemical fingerprints of what's in your water. They don't warn you. They hide it. When metal pipes were used, contamination left a trail. Lab tests could easily detect heavy metal interactions with fluoride and chlorine. Once the switch to plastic happened, the water looked cleaner, even if it wasn't. The system could now deliver whatever it wanted: fluoride, chloramines, even pharmaceutical residue, without the evidence showing up inside the infrastructure. The pipes stopped talking. Now here's the kicker most people miss. Fluoride doesn't just appear out of nowhere. The fluoride used in water treatment isn't the same compound dentists use. It's often derived from industrial waste, byproducts of phosphate fertilizer production, laced with trace metals and toxins. For decades, that waste had to be disposed of as hazardous material. Then someone figured out they could sell it to city governments instead of paying to bury it. You heard that right. The same stuff labeled toxic at the factory is rebranded as a dental supplement when it hits your faucet. And the only thing that stood between that lie and the public catching on was the reaction inside those old pipes. When copper and iron started breaking down, it wasn't just corrosion, it was evidence. So they replaced the evidence with silence. Plastic pipes became the new norm, and anyone asking questions got called crazy. Fast forward to today. Fluoride levels in most municipal water systems haven't dropped. In some places, they've quietly increased. Yet we're told to trust the experts, the same institutions that told us lead was fine, mercury fillings were safe, and asbestos was a miracle insulator. The same public health machine that still refuses to admit that fluoride is a neurotoxin in the wrong dose, or that there's no one-size-fits-all level of exposure when you're drinking it daily for decades. They don't want you to ask what happens when fluoride meets copper. They don't want you to ask why so many cities that couldn't afford metal suddenly had money for plastic. They don't want you to ask why the companies supplying fluoridation chemicals are the same ones that used to dump that waste into rivers until somebody offered them a profit motive to call it public health. You were told plastic was progress. You were told it would make your water cleaner. But what they really did was make your water invisible. And the irony? Those old pipes, the ones they said were dangerous, might have been the last honest part of the system. They couldn't lie. They corroded, discolored, and screamed back at the people pumping poison through them. So the next time someone says, "Don't worry, it's just fluoride," remember, they've been upgrading the silence for over 50 years. They hid the evidence in plain sight, one pipe at a time. You be the judge. If you're awake, you already know what to do. Hit the link in our description and sign up to our free underground newsletter.